Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually waiting for the first video of today to upload. So I came across this article and it's very interesting because it has a lot of the things that we've been talking about here recently. Take a look at the top message right here. That is not me. Now take a look at this one here in the bottom. This is me. And you will notice that next to my thumbnail, not only is my name kind of like highlighted in gray or black, but it also has a check mark next to it. I'm going to leave this short message in the beginning of every one of my videos. That way people don't get scammed anymore. And the title is the 10 biggest threats to your food security in 2023. Remember, I told you all a while back that the private security businesses were going to be a big deal, that they were going to make a lot of money because we're going to be in high demand in the future. Here it says, hint, prepare for grocery police state with guards rationing riots. And bringing it down here, it says in 2023 and for years to come, we are about to see some of the disturbing signs of food scarcity and panic among populations as well as food retailers. I believe that's true, ladies and gentlemen, and it also does depend where you live. There are parts of the world where food will be much more scarcer than other parts, and then there are parts where food is just going to be so expensive that you're not going to be able to afford it. They say here that in 2023, we're going to see more armed guards at food retailers, defending against sharp increases in organized retail theft of meat products. I talked to my brother who lives in the Dominican Republic here a few months back about this, and I asked him, are there any armed guards at like supermarkets and at banks? And he said, yeah, at banks there's usually an armed guard, but the supermarkets, usually if they're a big supermarket, there's usually an armed guard strolling around. But he said not everywhere. Well, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that there will come a day that those stores, supermarkets, whatever they may be, whether big or small, if they can afford to have security, that they will pay for security. And they continue to say here, there is going to be access restrictions and biometric ID requirements, CBDC anyone, on who is allowed to enter grocery stores and purchase food items. Food rationing limits enforced by digital currency controls that closely monitor your food purchases and cut you off when you've reached your government enforced limit, a form of rationing. And that's one of the ways that they're going to get us to ration what we can purchase is through a CBDC. Now, do we have a CBDC yet? No, we don't. I believe that initially, or eventually, excuse me, that we will have one, but I can always hope that we don't, that things change to where cash will not disappear. And if we do get CBDCs, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you use cash instead. I'm going to take my CBDCs, if I get any, and use that money to buy precious metals, and then use cash to buy everything else, as long as I can, as long as they don't restrict you to only using CBDCs. But I believe that if they do, that it will fail. At first, there's going to be CBDCs next to cash. But let's hope that in the grand scheme of things, that they never actually launch a CBDC. Food riots across many cities and countries as fear and famine take hold. Now, this is 100% true. Just look at what happened in Buffalo, New York during that last Arctic blast. After like 1 or 2 days, people were already looting stores. Not for food, but for stuff, for TVs, things that really don't bring value to their lives. What do you think will happen, ladies and gentlemen, when food is scarce or food is so expensive that people won't be able to afford it? Those same people that were looting stores for TVs, they're going to be doing even bigger things, even bigger crimes in order to get their hands on food, especially when they get hungry. The way you protect yourself is by, number one, making sure that you're as prepped as you can possibly be, especially with food and water and all those things that you need in order to sustain your standard of living, but also learn or start learning how to grow your own food. Learn or start learning how to raise your own animals. I am an amateur in gardening and growing food, and I still haven't gotten my chickens yet. Hopefully this is the year where I'll actually have them. I think we're coming to a point where I really need to get those chickens in that chicken coop after I build it. And here they continue to say, in America, food will become more expensive and scarce, but the shelves won't be empty just yet. In 2023, the United States will experience significant food inflation as well as intermittent scarcity. That's what we've been talking about for a while, that food is is very high in price now, okay? It's going to get even higher in price, pricing even more people out of food, and then eventually we will see scarcity. But the shelves won't go bare on a large scale. Europe, however, will see food scarcity on a far worse scale. So if you're one of our brothers and sisters that live across the pond, you need to be prepped up even more and faster. And consumers there should expect to see many bare shelves, reduced selection, reduced inventory depth, and retailers and frequent purchase limits in place by retailers. For Americans, the grocery store shopping experience in 2023 will increasingly resemble a police state, with restricted entry, guarded entry, and exit points at some stores, increased surveillance and special in-store guards near meat sections at many stores. We'll have to see if that happens, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be very interesting to see if that actually happens this year, because it will mean that our progression towards being a Venezuela is accelerating. And here he continues to say, we anticipate increased carjackings of grocery consumers driving home, increased robberies of grocery consumers who are walking out of the stores, and increased home robberies targeting food supplies rather than jewelry or other valuables. And we also anticipate consumers deliberately shopping in packs, multiple people together, as we've talked about in the past, realizing there is safety in numbers. And these are things that you should start doing today. If you're going to go shopping, take a battle buddy, right? Like we call it in the Army, a battle buddy, a friend, or multiple friends, and make it a friend date, right? Whether it's male or female, make it a friend date to go shopping. That way you can have more numbers instead of being by yourselves. When you're going back to your car, make sure that you're shopping during the daytime, during daylight hours. That way everything is visible. Make sure that you look inside your vehicle, in the back seat of your vehicle. Make sure that there's no one in your vehicle. Make sure that when you go to open the door, I would preferably say to have on a pair of gloves or have something that will protect your actual skin from the door handle. That way someone would not have had a chance to lace your door handle with like a substance that would make you pass out or something like that. In many areas across America's cities, grocery shoppers will arm up in advance of the shopping trip and carry concealed pistols as a means of self-defense. You should be doing that now. We will see shootings over food in 2023 and beyond. That will make a great thumbnail. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because I think this is true. We will see shootings over food in 2023 and beyond. Incredible. They say that in addition, they anticipate more food thefts at the wholesale level. Just like all of that beef that I told you about here a month or so ago, that there was like $9 million of beef stolen from different wholesalers by organized crime, which ended up, I believe it was in Florida. Incredible. With organized wholesale theft rings targeting meat plants, food distributors, and food manufacturers. Think of this as theft by pallet, involving forklifts and heavy trucks. People will shoot each other over food in 2023. We've already seen people kill each other over a Snickers bar or a pair of tennis shoes, ladies and gentlemen. Do you really think that when food starts to become scarce, and it will, all you have to do is look around, that people are going to be civil towards one another? We are such a divided nation. Not only that, we are a divided world. You think people are going to be civil? The best way that you can protect yourself is to be prepared and to be able to stay out of those situations because you are prepared. But most of the violence is likely to be limited to high population density cities populated by lawless people. When the White House claims that food inflation has peaked and may even be falling, they are saying that the rate of food inflation is no longer climbing. It's what I've stated in the past. But prices continue to climb because the inflation rate still remains in positive territory. So it means that the rate, the speed at which is climbing won't be as fast. But it will still continue to climb, and the prices aren't going to go down. They're just going to continue to climb from the base that we've created now, from the floor that we've created at a slower rate. Doesn't mean that bread is going to go back down to 99 cents a loaf. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a great thing. More Americans will grow their own food in 2023 and beyond. For whatever reason it may be, that's a good thing. We should all be trying to grow our own food. And I'm not saying this from a position of authority because, as I stated before, I am a 100% novice when it comes to gardening. Right? And there's a lot that I have to learn. However, if you quit, you're not going to progress. So continue to prepare, continue to sharpen your skills, continue to learn, ladies and gentlemen, because that's how we're going to make it through this. And for goodness sakes, please defend yourselves. Please have something that you can defend yourself just in case. Hope that you never ever need it, but have it in case you do. Having said that, I hope that you have a great day and hope to see you tomorrow during our live stream at 9 a.m. Alaska time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. God bless every one of you and God bless America.